Alright, pork adobo. Pork adobo is probably the most famous dish to come out of the Philippines, and I was turned on to this a long time ago when I was sailing in the archipelago, and I tasted this dish in several forms and it was amazing. Over the years I've toyed with it, played with it, made it my own, so this is my humble offering along those lines. It's a fairly simple one to cook. I've got 800 grams of pork shoulder here, which I've cut up into large chunks, and if you notice I've still got the rind on, so it's rind on for this dish. It's more authentic that way. You can leave it off if you like, but I prefer it on. You can also use belly pork. It's probably more common that belly pork would be used for this dish. Right, in addition to that, that's 800 grams, best part of 2 pounds. There's a half cup of light soy sauce and a third of a cup of Asian vinegar. You can also use apple cider vinegar, which works really well with pork. There's a couple of shallots. It's about the equivalent of half an onion chopped up, but there's a couple of shallots chopped up ready to go. There's about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic, which I've chopped up into small pieces, and there's about a thumb-sized piece of fresh ginger, which I've chopped up into small pieces too. There's a couple of teaspoons of dark soya sauce here, and that's more for colouring than anything else. So there's a couple of teaspoons of dark soy sauce, and I've got some soft dark brown sugar. You can use really just about any soft sugar you've got, but you're better off with the brown sugar, something like light brown or dark brown. You can even use muscovado sugar for this one. Right, so this is fairly simple to get going. First of all, you need a pan on the heat, like that, into which you pour your soy sauce, your vinegar, and into that you want to get your pork, and you need to top that up till it's just above the level of the pork with some water, and I'm adding boiled water to that. So that's topped up until it's just covering over the pork, and into that now I want to get my garlic and my ginger, get all that in, also my shallots, my dark soy sauce, and that's rather sticky, so you might want to rinse the spoon off in the stock. And so all we got left now is the sugar, and I've got a slurry of about 3 heaped teaspoons of cornstarch, which I'll later add to it. So all that's over there. Now your pork, don't disturb it too much while it's cooking. So you want to bring it up to the boil and then turn it down to a simmer for about 20 minutes. So that's now boiling. I'm now going to turn that down to a simmer. Alright, just change the camera angle there for you. Now it's down to a nice simmer. What I want to do is I want to get in the sugar, stir that in well to mix, and continue simmering for the full 20 minutes. Alright, that's got to the 20-minute stage now, and I'm just going to test that for doneness. So have a quick jab with that. It's pretty good. And what I'm going to do now is drain that off. So I've got a sieve over a bowl, and I'm just going to drain that into that. Allow that to drain, and reserve the liquor for the next job that we're going to do. So I'm going to move that out of the way for now, and then I'm going to get my fry pan on there to act as a wok. Alright, we get our frying pan or wok hot, and into that goes a glug of oil, a couple of tablespoons, Swirl that around, let that get up to heat, and in goes the pork. And what we want to do now is we want to get a fry on that pork. Just let it brown a little bit. Cool, that smells awesome. Alright, some of the sugar is now starting to caramelise on the outside of the meat, and we're getting that characteristic sweet smell as that happens. Now's the time to introduce some of the stock back into the pot. So I'm going to do that with a strainer, and I'm going to drop in a couple of ladlefuls of my stock. See how that looks. It's about right. Deglaze the pan. I think one more will do that. What say you? So there you go. And it's at this stage now that we're almost finished. So let's introduce our starch to it. So as you recall, it was a couple of teaspoons, heaped teaspoons of corn flour, just mixed up with a bit of water. Make sure, you'll see there I had to stir it because it does settle and it becomes quite hard in the bottom. So I'm going to put a bit of that in there to start with, give it a stir and see where we are. And we're going for a fairly thick sauce. In fact, we're about there, aren't we? Look, that's it. I always think it's better to have too much starch than not enough and have to go and mix it up again. So there we go. And I'll show you that served up. So there you have it, my pork adobo, all nicely topped off with a sprinkling of spring onions, just to make it look pretty. Enjoy. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to follow my channel, please subscribe and be sure to click the bell icon to receive notification of all my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.